Shalom, brothers and sisters. This is Brother Steve back with another video. Good evening to everybody. I hope everybody's doing good. I'm so very thankful to be back here in front of this camera here to speak to you all, to bring truth and enlightenment to the brothers and sisters out there, the Hebrew Israelites and the Gentiles of truth. Now, brothers and sisters, those that are new to this channel, once again, this channel deals with biblical theology, history, and current news when it comes to worldly events, social events, anything pertaining to the body of Christ. Okay, I also talk about the biblical Christ of the Bible, the Hebrew Israelite Negro. Okay, I have to speak and tell the truth as it is, brothers and sisters. I know there are those out there that will not accept this because they've not researched or done work, or they have such a disdain of disbelief, especially of those of dark complexions like myself. Obviously, throughout the centuries of Europeanized Roman Christian theology and lies, and due to the fact that our ancestors fail from what we call the grace and a covenant of the Most High due to our disobedience, well, it's my job in this hour, like other brothers and sisters, to bring truth to our people, to all people. It's the beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing in terms of the revelation, the understanding, so on and so forth. So, brothers and sisters, I'd like to start off with a question for you, okay? A question. Do you all remember the movie Gladiator? The movie Gladiator, okay? Now, for some of you, you may be familiar with that particular movie. Now, the movie Gladiator was shot in the early 2000s. Okay, I'm going to show you the theatrical release poster. Okay, this is what the poster looked like. Okay, let me show you. This is the poster. That's Gladiator. That's Gladiator. Okay. See? Brothers and sisters, this was a very, very good movie. It was directed by Ridley Scott, and there was an array and host of different actors. Russell Crowe, Joaquin Phoenix, Connie Nielsen, Oliver Reed, Digimon Hunsu. A lot of excellent actors in this movie. I mean, once again, I've always been a history buff. I've always been into antiquities, and this particular movie was right up my alley. But once again, this movie was released, I believe it was May 1st of 2000, okay? So, brothers and sisters, if you get a chance, I'd like you to check this movie out at your own convenience after this video, within the next few days, the weekend. Now, this was a movie directed by Ridley Scott, once again, of epic historical drama. Okay, what I want to do, brothers and sisters, here is I want to basically talk about this movie. Okay, before I do so, I want to give you some historical background on this movie, in terms of the authenticity, okay? The authenticity, okay? Now, it states here, this film is loosely based on real events that occurred within the Roman Empire in the latter half of the 2nd century A.D., okay? That's the 2nd century A.D. Now, Ridley Scott wanted to portray Roman culture more accurately than in any previous films. He hired several historians as advisors. Nevertheless, some deviations from historical fact were made to increase interest, maintain narrative continuity, and for practical or safety reasons. Scott also stated that due to the influence of previous films affecting the public perception of what ancient Rome was like, some historical facts were too unbelievable to include. Prime example, brothers and sisters. In the early version of the script, gladiators would have been carrying out product endorsements in the arena. While this would have been historically accurate, it was not filmed for fear that audiences would think it anachronistic. All right. Let me go down here. Let me give you some examples, brothers and sisters. The fictionalization of the movie Gladiator. Example: Marcus Aurelius, okay, was not murdered by his son Commodus. Now, Commodus was Marcus Aurelius' son, brothers and sisters. He was a very, very evil and wicked, narcissistic emperor of Rome. He was hated. He was despised. He was what we call and I don't like to use this example, but there were stories of Saddam Hussein being very, very narcissistic and killing Iraqis indiscriminately at will. Okay, Commodus was of the same mindset way back then in Rome. Okay, very, very jealous, very envious, just a very, very narcissistic and wicked individual. Okay, that also ruled in the time of Rome after his father's death. Okay, excuse me. So it states here, Marcus Aurelius was not murdered by his son Commodus. He died at Vindobona, modern Vienna, in 180 AD from the Antoine Plague. Okay. Now, this epidemic is believed to be either of smallpox or measles. It swept through the Roman Empire during the reign of Marcus. Okay. Now, there is no indication Marcus Aurelius wished to return to the empire to a republican form of government as depicted in the film. Moreover, he shared the rule of the empire with Commodus for 3 years before his own death. Commodus then ruled alone, and from that point until his death at the end of 192 AD. Brothers and sisters, remember that date, 192 AD. 192 AD. Okay? Now, in this film, brothers and sisters, it depicts Marcus as defeating the barbarians in the Marco-Comanic Wars. Okay? In reality, the war was still ongoing when Aurelius died. Commodus secured peace by a treaty with the two Germanic tribes allied against Rome. Okay? The Marcomanni and the Quadi immediately after his father's death. All right? The character of Maximus is fictional. The character of Maximus is fictional. So, brothers and sisters, you're going to see a character within the movie Gladiator named Maximus. Okay? It's a very fictional character. I'm going to tell you who Maximus was supposed to have been in this movie, Gladiator. It's going to blow your mind. Let me continue, brothers and sisters. The character of Maximus is fictional, although in some respects he resembles the following historical figures. Narcissus, Commodus' real-life murderer, and the character's name in the first draft of the screenplay. Okay, let me see here. I'm going to go down some. Although Commodus engaged in show combat in the Colosseum, he was not killed in the arena. Okay? He was strangled in his bath by the wrestler Narcissus. Okay, or Narcissus. Commodus reigned for over 12 years, unlike the shorter period portrayed in the film. Now, brothers and sisters, I'm reading down all this information in terms of, the fictionality or the fictionalization of this particular movie, Gladiator, because there's a lot of historical inaccuracies in this movie. And remember, like I just told you, remember the year of 19 AD and also the fictional character of Maximus. Okay? All right, bear with me here, brothers and sisters. I want to go down here. All right. Okay. In real life, the death of Commodus did not. Now, check this out, brothers and sisters. In real life, the death of Commodus did not result in peace for Rome. Okay? So the in the film, brothers and sisters, as I can remember, when Commodus had to fight Maximus at the, I really don't want to tell you the end of the movie because I'd be spoiling to give it to you, but basically there was a fight that occurred at the end of the movie, okay? And once the fight was completed, Ridley Scott, the director, showed how Rome was all of a sudden at peace. Brothers and sisters, this is far from the truth. That's not the case, okay? There was no peace at this point here. There was actually instability, okay, if you will, all right? In real life, the death of Commodus did not result in peace for Rome, nor a return to the Roman Republic. Rather, it ushered in a chaotic and bloody power struggle that culminated in the year of the five emperors of AD 193. Did you hear that? AD 193. Okay? Forgive me, brothers and sisters. So, according to Herodian, the people of Rome were overjoyed at the news of Commodus dying, although they feared that the Praetorians would not accept the new emperor Pertinax. Now, brothers and sisters, I want to stop there because this is where it gets very interesting. Brothers and sisters, 192 AD, 193 AD. It wasn't the fictional character Maximus. It was Lucian Septimian Servus Niger. Lucius Septimius Servus Niger. This was a Hebrew Israelite Negro who took down Rome. Now, brothers and sisters, I have some proof. Okay? And before I proceed, brothers and sisters, I want to say this. I've watched some videos. I've looked at some documentaries on Septimius Servus Niger, Lucian Septimius Servus Niger. Brothers and sisters, I'm going to be honest with you. On some of the documentaries that I watched, some of the scholarly debates, none of these scholars or documentaries could show the accurate picture of Septimius Servus Niger. Now, we all know Niger means black. This is the color of Niger. Now, brothers and sisters, I'm gonna be honest with you. You see the hue of you see the skin tone. You see my skin tone, you see the hue, right? If I had lived in the time of Rome, under the Empire of Rome, they would have labeled me Niger. Brothers and sisters, when you look at and think about the African American man and woman, you have African American male, African American title, you have black, you have Negro, you have color, you have Niger. Niger. Brothers and sisters, Septimius or Lucius Septimius Servus Niger was Hebrew Israelite who took down Rome, or more so, took down Commodus and all the cult conspirators. Now, mind you, Septimius Servus Niger had a love for Marcus Aurelius. Now, Marcus Aurelius was an excellent emperor. He was well loved and he was universally known. Okay, a highly respected emperor of Rome in his time. Okay, and once again, he died of a disease of what we call septicemia, brothers and sisters. Now, septicemia is an infection of the blood. Obviously, there was diseases in that time, a lack of cleanliness, so on and so forth. So he died of what we'd call in medical terminology of septicemia. Okay, brothers and sisters, Septimius Servus Niger. He was not Caucasian. He was not European or what we call Idumean. This was a Hebrew Israelite Negro who they called Niger. The wars that he fought in terms of the battles or the civil wars were against other men who were called Niger. See, brothers and sisters, you have to understand at that time that the Hebrew Israelites were not just slaves. They also ruled. They served in the military. They had high-ranking positions in the Senate and the Republic. This is the history that's not taught to our people in modern times like today. We're not taught this in schools. The question is, why? Why are we not taught this history? See, brothers and sisters, you also have to understand that Septimius Servus Niger also went into Britain. Oh, yeah. He went into Britain towards the end of his career and died there, I believe in the year of 211 AD. Okay? I believe it's 210 or 211. It's one of those years, but I believe it was 211 AD. Brothers and sisters, I got a book here. Okay? I got a book here and a special treat for you. Septimius Servus Niger. Septimius Servus Niger. Now they call him African, but he was of Hebrew Israelite descent. Okay? He was of Hebrew Israelite descent. Negro, Niger, black. Okay? Fought many wars. He was an imperator, I believe, 7 times. Every time that he engaged in war or conquest, the Roman emperors would get imperator. Okay, they'd be imperator 1, imperator 2, imperator 4, 5, 6, 7. As many wars, many conquests and battles, they would always get that title of imperator. Okay, now, brothers and sisters, in this book here, really interesting, because this tells the exact history of Septimius Servus Niger. Now, mind you, it gives him his birth date from the area of Tripolitania, And I hope I pronounced that correctly, brothers and sisters. You got to forgive me here. Let me. Now, he was born in the city of Tripolitania. That's what it is, Tripolitania. Okay, and basically in this book here, it tells about all of his wars with his war against Niger, the war with Albinus, Parthia, Egypt, the return to Africa. I mean, this book here gives us the truth of Septimius Servus Niger. Not to mention, Septimius Servus Niger was married to a Syrian woman named Julia that had two sons, Caracalla and Geta. And Caracalla was wicked. He murdered his own brother, Geta. Let me show you a picture real fast. Now, this is Septimius Servus Niger and his wife, Julia. And if you notice, that's the picture right there. That's the picture. Now, that picture in itself is okay, but it still doesn't do justice. Brothers and sisters, I'm going to show you the actual picture of Lucius Septimius Servus Niger. Watch this, brothers and sisters. This is going to blow your mind. But it shouldn't surprise you because through whitewashing and racism, this is what's transpired and happened to us. This was the lie and the complicity of all the nations in hiding the identity of the Hebrew Israelites. Not understanding that we were a part, we ruled. We weren't all slaves. No. Or they sit up there and say, oh, they were Berbers, or they were olive skin, or something of that nature. That couldn't be farther from the truth, brothers and sisters. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. Okay. Now, brothers and sisters, I have here, let's see here. Bear with me one moment. Bear with me one moment, brothers and sisters. Okay. Septimius Servus Niger's coin, denarii. Check it out. It's the one right there. Right here, brothers and sisters. Look at that. Look at that. Let me do you one better, brothers and sisters. Let me do you one better. To all my Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters, all my Gentile brothers and sisters, all my brothers and sisters in the body of Christ, here is the truth. These were Hebrew Israelite Negroes, whom they deemed as Niger, like they referred to the brothers in the book of Acts. The first Christians, the Hebrew Israelites, the first so-called Christian were referred to as Niger. Okay? So brothers and sisters, this was a common thing referred to people who looked like me. See? That's just the truth. Let me show you something, brothers and sisters. Now, this is going to be a beautiful thing right here. I want you to see this. Here is the picture. Here is the actual historical picture of Septimius Servus Niger, Emperor of Rome, who ruled 193 AD to 211 AD. Check this out. Here it is, brothers and sisters. Here it is. Here is Septimius Servus Niger. There it is. There he is. Septimius Servus Niger, Roman emperor, who took down Commodus, brought order back to Rome for a time. Okay? One of his sons came in after him and also ruled for a time. Okay? Septimus, Servus, Niger, Negro, Israelite, black man, Niger. That's the truth. He wasn't olive skin colored. I've heard scholars, oh, he was Berber. Look, there was a region of Berber in Numidia, also referred to as people in that area called the Numidians. Brothers and sisters, you have to understand that this was about 100, this was about 100, 70 AD was the fall of Masada, so 30. We're talking about 140, 150 years. The Hebrew Israelites, the last three tribes in Jerusalem, fled Jerusalem into Africa. They populated that area. Northern Africa, all throughout Northern Africa. The eastern and northern parts of Africa was populated with Jews, Hebrew Israelite Negroes. Hebrew Israelite Negroes. And I have the proof. I have historical records and documents. So all of you brothers out there talking about you're Islam or you're Muslim, negative. Because there was no invasion of Muslims or Arabs at that time. It's impossible. It's impossible. Okay? Do your research. Do your research. There was no blacks or people who were referred to as Niger in the religion of Islam. It was Persian Eastern mysticism. Persian Eastern mysticism. Now, some of the Canaanite tribes or the Hamitic tribes or the Africans, the indigenous people of the land, not the Hebrew Israelites, not the Negroes, but the Hamites. They worshiped other gods. Like, I'll give you a prime example. There was a god worshipped over there in the Carthaginians. They worshipped a god called Baal Hammurabi. I'm probably mispronouncing it, brothers and sisters, but it was Baal Hammurabi. Okay? This was a pagan deity worshipped by Hamites. The Negroes, the Hebrew Israelites, we worshiped the Most High God. We had one God, the one God, Israel, Ahaya. That's who we had. And I'm not saying that our ancestors didn't worship fallen gods, because they did, and that's why we fail. But for the most part, after the split of the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, hey, all we had was Judah, Benjamin, Levi, and some of Simeon up in there, in the southern part, the southern tribes. That's what was in the land. You can go in the book of Kings and look it up yourselves. Okay? You can go into the Apocrypha and look it up yourselves. The history is there, brothers and sisters. Okay? All right. I didn't mean to get too far off, but because what I'm doing here is I'm simplifying and condensing this information. Now, obviously, this could be hours and hours. This could be essentially a 2 to 3 hour lecture. Okay? But I'm simplifying and giving you some basic understanding about Septimius, Servus, Niger. And understand that over 1 to 3 million Hebrew Israelite Negroes fled into Africa, 70 AD. I'm going to read something for you, brothers and sisters. Okay? I'm going to read something for you. I have a book here called, oh, by the way, that book was, the book I just showed you, brothers and sisters, was Septimus Servus, written by Anthony Burley. Once again, okay. This is what it looks like. That's the back of it. And if you notice, this is Yale University Press. Yale University Press. Yale University, brothers and sisters. Nothing new under the sun when it comes to the history and the knowledge and the truth of the Hebrew Israelite Negroes, also known as Niger blacks. See? That's just the truth. It's not pride. It's not racism. It's just the truth of history. This is what transpired with our people, brothers and sisters. This is what happened. This is what happened. These were the curses that were put on us. The curses of Deuteronomy. The curses of our ancestors. The generational curses. The Most High told us we would be spread and scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. But even then, brothers and sisters, even then, before that, we were still ruling. We were ruling in Rome. We were ruling in Britain, Ireland, France, King James, Hebrew Israelite Negro, also who would be called Niger. Same complexion as me. Same skin complexion. See? Same skin complexion as me. Right there. Septimus, Servus, Niger. Septimius Servus Niger ruled. He ruled Rome. He was unstoppable.